Unless you've been living under a rock, you definitely know who MrBeast is. You'd know about his hyper-successful YouTube channel, and that he might be in some hot water at the moment, but I'm not here to tell you about how Mr. Krabs is a fraud. What I'm here to tell you about is his newest product line, MrBeast Labs. For some 2-second context, you may know that MrBeast has dabbled in some product lines, of which all the best known ones are food related, like burgers and Feastables.
Seriously, Jimmy, no white chocolate? You're forcing me to buy Hershey's here.
Both fairly successful consumer products. On top of that, such YouTuber classic items like t-shirts and vinyl figures have also always been available. But you already know this. You're here to hear about the new toy line. MrBeast's Lab range of toys would go into development presumably in early 2024.
There's still a lot of data lacking at this time.
By everybody's favorite Aussie toy manufacturer, Moose Toys, in partnership with the MrBeast Corporation, making its debut July 1st of 2024, with seemingly little traction. In fact, the way I found out about it was completely by accident, as it was while I was doing research for my previous video.
Shameless plug moment.
And came across the product page on the Moose Toys website. More recently though, MrBeast has done a quick ad for the lineup in one of his more recent videos, specifically the one where he took a wander into a cave, and from my infinite product knowledge, it seems to have been selling better since that point. So what makes up the MrBeast Lab? Well, going with the big ticket items first, we've got the MrBeast Lab Swarms, a lineup of small collectible figures reminiscent of the Grocery Gang and Trash Pack, of which I've actually went down to my local Walbert's and bought. But hold your horses, we'll get back to that in a jiffy. As also released in the series are the new Mutators, a series of action figures inspired off of the MrBeast Panther,
or as true legends remember it as, a tiger.
They come out with a unique gimmick to free the figure from the container. All you need to do is take the test tube off of the side,
where handles a lie my whole life,
pour it into the container, push the top button, rotate the thing, press the fingerprint scanner, watch MrBeast himself appear, hit the like and subscribe buttons, unscrew the top, pull out the action figure, and question why you spent $25 of your grocery money on this. The action figure itself stands at about action figure height and can be found in 4 color variations. If you want the ultra rare, super snazzy, rich boy gold edition though, you can only buy that at Walmart. Because monopolies and things. Also, as a related side note, the entire concept of the Mutators are based off of the Beast Lab toys that came before it, which function in basically the same way, but without a licensing agreement to the real Jimmy himself. On top of these, there's also a separate action figure line, that's simply the action figures without any gimmicks. And there's still another whole $20! Well, I guess I don't really need to eat this Friday anyway. They're also available in a signature briefcase version that has packaging that looks like the iconic money briefcase that is seen in many of MrBeast's videos. Personally though, I'd waste my money on a genuine MrBeast briefcase, because science isn't about why, it's about why not! Anyway, finishing up the lineup, some vinyl figures of the Beast Panther were also released. I have nothing special to say about them, they're simply vinyl figures. Feel free to go back to your Funko Pops. Now, with all that out of the way, this brings us full circle back to the Swarms. Having gone out of my way to take a wander down to Walbert's, I quickly found a 5-pack amongst the war-torn aisles. They also had the Test Tube 2 character packs available, but I get that in the 5-pack anyway, so deal with it. And of course all the other previously mentioned stuff was there, but I ain't getting all of that. After buying some Tic Tacs for dinner on the way out, I brought the Swarms home for review. For the pre-opening inspection, the packaging is alright, but not enough MrBeast face all over it. We need more MrBeast face. And Chandler. We like Chandler. After I commenced the destruction of the packaging, I pulled out the test tube, which actually had the collector's sheet wrapped around it, a novel concept. After seeing the 100+ options and chucking it to the side, I unscrewed the cap off the test tube and peeled off the foil seal, which I then threw in the microwave before screwing the cap back on, popping the lid, adding some water, and accidentally letting it fizz onto my 2000s Frutiger Aero chair for a whole 15 seconds before vigorously shaking it for 30 seconds. Now, I'm not sure if my pure Canadian mountain tap water is too fancy for the dissolvable paper bag inside the tube. It did not dissolve as advertised, and the characters just kinda got clumped into a wad of wet paper, and I had to dump the contents into a cup, leaving a gooey, blue water and paper mess that I then had to fish the swarms out of. Not necessarily the fun I was looking for. I thought you were better than this, Moose! But before I tell you what swarms I got, I had to answer a question that everybody's been asking. And by everybody, I mean literally only me, and maybe my editor, and that being, can you drink the swarm's test tube water? Well, I'm happy to report that the answer is indeed yes. Do I recommend you drink it though? Absolutely not! As I was supposed to only taste it, but because I'm an idiot, I accidentally drank it, and can say it's probably one of the worst things I've ever drank, going right up there with Windex and that 1 carrot soup. I wound up feeling miserable for the entire rest of the Sunday I was filming, and I'm definitely never doing that again. I even recorded it, but we don't speak about that. And worst of all, I now have bad memories associated with my Buick glass. But let's stop talking about me. This is supposed to be about silly MrBeast figures. This 5-pack comes standard with a guaranteed Panther figure, which unfortunately was not the limited edition Hyperchrome Panther. Winning the lottery is probably easier than finding that thing. What I did get is the Vortex Panther, which is an alright second option in my books. Also clearly visible was the Bull Charger Bulldozer figure. Get it? Because it's a bull with a blade and tracks? Get it? The third and final visible character in the pack was an extremely lopsided, snarling speaker, which for some reason I was originally thinking was one of those 1980s computers. Seeing as it wasn't that, I've decided I hate it. As for the test tube characters, I found a Recliner,
Man, Moose loves their armchairs.
and Grizzly Grouch, which I'm calling Boog, because that's funny. Now, I'd say the characters I got are decent. Of the 100+ options, I would say it was a solid mix of them, though, let's all be honest here, what we really wanted was a mini Chandler to collect every single example in existence of. I went ahead and compared them to some of what else Moose Toys used to have, and I'd say they're closest in comparison to the Grocery Gang. As for how squishy they are, they're somewhere between Trash Pack's squishy rubber and Shopkins' much harder rubber. Actually shockingly close to whatever knockoff character Zuru was trying to make a few years ago. Now, would I recommend you buy them? Well, speaking as a collector, nah. Sure, they might be a nice little addition to the collection if you're one of the 3 people who actually owns the rest of the Moose Toys mini collectible character range, but otherwise, I don't really see them becoming particularly valuable in the future. If anything, they're likely to become infamous relics of the era. At least, that's my prediction. They're definitely much better things to save for the future. But also speaking as somebody who simply wants to buy something for their children as a Christmas present, should you buy it? In this scenario, I'd say, yeah, go for it! As they do make for a decent stocking stuffer, and a fun little thing for any kid to play with. Overall, I'd say they're a solid product, more of a novelty collectible than anything else. They may sell decently over the Christmas season, but it's still too early to say whether or not they're a successful toy line. I mean, Toys R Us has only just started to get in just the mutators, so there's definitely some mandatory sitting around and waiting to see what happens. Potentially, I'll even have to make a sequel in 6 months or something. Personally, I wish Moose Toys a successful run on their new endeavor, though if I'm being completely honest, this may have been a bad call. In my opinion, just bring back Trash Pack and Mighty Beans again, and ride the IPs till the economy approves. For the time being though, I'm happy to have added some new characters to the stash, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this all pans out. Well, if you enjoyed this, you might like to check out some of my other content. I recently talked about the 2010's most popular toy and how it disappeared. And if that isn't up your alley, then just hit the subscribe button, as I'm trying my best to get something new in the toy and collectible world out every week. Ringing the bell might also help make sure you never miss out on anything important. And with all of that out of the way, thank you for watching, be kind to retail employees, and have yourself a great day. Okay, so I'm about to drink the MrBeast's test tube Beastables whatever water. Okay, we're just try it. Oh, I saw a little bit of it. Okay. I've tasted worse. Okay, it's good. It's good.